guys, it's Izzy here, and today we're going to be doing another edition of the Try a Chapter book tag. Today we're going to be looking at some of my recent purchases that I bought in the last week. So as I talked about in my last video, fantasy is the main genre that I am focusing on in December. So we're going to be looking at fantasy books today and trying a chapter of each of them. Let's get into it. So our first one is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Zuri. So this is an Indian-inspired fantasy. It is quite big, so usually that means the chapter is going to be really long. So I am kind of nervous, and this is book one in the Burning Kingdoms. I don't know if this is going to be a trilogy or what. I don't know. So it's trapped by her despotic brother within the crumbling walls of an ancient temple. Princess Melanie dreams of vengeance. So we love stories of vengeance. So let's see how long the first chapter is here. We do have a map. We love that. So we do have the prologue, which we're not going to read. So chapter 1 starts on page 5. 10, 11, 12, 13 pages. So not that bad. That's actually perfect length. So I'm gonna read it and then get back with y'all. Okay, so my thoughts on The Jasmine Throne. I think this world seems really interesting, and then the premise of it seems like people of wealth are being murdered, and I don't know what's going to go from there. We did have some little magical aspects. But I think I think we go between two POVs, but the first one just seemed like any other fantasy female heroine, so it wasn't anything new to the table. But obviously I just read 13 pages out of like 600 pages, so I don't know for sure how the rest will go. Our next book is The Sisters of the Winter Wood by Rena Rosner. This is an Eastern European inspired fantasy, and I think it may be a little bit historical as well. And I know some of the chapters in this are told in a poetry format, verse format, rather than prose. So let's see what our first chapter is going to look like. It's literally just this little page, and then it looks like there is a quote before that. So I'm just gonna read this very quickly and catch up with y'all once I read this chapter. I really liked the start of this one. I know it was a whole lot shorter than the chapter in the previous book, so I didn't really go into what it is about. So it's a remote village that is in Eastern Europe, and the two main characters are sisters and live a little further out of town, and bad things start happening inside the village, and then they are coming to terms with a dark past that their family has, and just maybe how these stories connect and all of that. So I really like that this book will have that family aspect, as the characters are sisters, and just from a lot of what you can tell, that's going to be playing a big part. And another thing is, this is really based on old fairy tales, like I think it's Rumpelstiltskin, is that how you say it? Or Goblin Market, that kind of thing. But I do want to read the first line. It says, if you want to know the history of a town, read the gravestones and its cemetery. As somebody who goes to cemeteries quite frequently for historical purposes, I really like how that book starts out. So that is in our number 1 slot right now, with the other one, I already forgot the name, Jasmine Throne, being in second. So our next one and our last one is a book that is very popular on BookTube at the moment, and apparently TikTok as well, but I do not have TikTok, so that's only from what I've heard from other people. So this is a independently published book, and that is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. So this is basically if the Library of Alexandria, I'm not sure, if it wasn't burned down, how society would be different. There would be magic and whatnot. So this is really magical realism, having magic in our current world, and you do jobs within the magic. Whatever kind of magic you have is what kind of field you go in for work. And it takes 6 of the people there. I think it's actually, there's supposed to be 5 the greatest magicians of the generation, but this year I think 6 get picked. And I do think this book goes from point of view of each. So who knows? So let's see. This just says beginning. So is this a prologue or is that a chapter? Okay, I'm just going to read this beginning section. It is several pages. I don't know. Yeah, it's not really sorted by chapter, really. So I'm going to read that and then tell y'all what I think. I really liked the start of this one. Just the references of history and time. The writing, though, was the main highlight. So Olivia Blake, that writing instantly drew me in. It was very beautiful and just read very well. So, but I'm still going to put this in second. So, of which book I would pick up first of these, I would do The Sister of the Winter Wood by Rena Rosner. So I probably will pick this up this month. I don't want to say like 100% sure I'll pick this up this month because I do have some hefty books that I am reading this month. As I said, I'm focusing on fantasy. Fantasy books tend to be quite big. So right now this is sitting in our #1 place. And second, we have The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. Again, the beautiful writing, but this one, just the premise and all draws me in more, and the setting and everything. And then our last one, The Jasmine Throne, takes third. None of these books start out bad. This one just, since it's a way big book, I feel like it will take a little more time to get into. And as I said, the premise has drawn me in of the murders of merchants and whatnot happening. And I'm curious of how these characters are going to be connected to that. So that book takes home third. So there are my rankings of The Sisters of the Winter Wood, The Atlas 6, and The Jasmine Throne. Now these books are all very different, but they are all fantasy, so that is the only way they're connected. But I did want to check them out for you guys today and let you know what I think of the first chapter. So if you would like to see more of me trying chapters, let me know in the comments and give this video a thumbs up. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, as always, comment, rate, and subscribe. I am doing Vlogmas, so I am posting vlogs on Mondays and Fridays, but you are going to be getting videos like this every Tuesday. So ring that notification bell to be notified every time I go live. Bye!